Years later, I discovered that the Bible declares that in hell there are chambers of death as mentioned in Proverbs 7:27. Her house is the way to hell, going down to the chambers of death. Listen to this. Isaiah 24:22. And they shall be gathered together, as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison. Scarcely, and after many days shall they be visited. Some translations say punished. Wow, that correlates with what's happening in Revelations 20:14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. This is the second death, putting the two verses together. After many days, the prisoners are visited. Isa 24:22, and thrown into the lake of fire. Rev 20:14. Illusions in the cubes. Inside each cube, I spied individual people in various stages of boredom, anguishes, and hideous various torments. Ghoulish entities were inside these cubes, giving the illusions of people, places, and things to each trapped soul, enacting the scenes from each person's life. I also traveled between these cubes to more cubes that lay behind as the journey continued. The creature before me began speaking to me again with such foul language and curses that I could not record what it really said for you. I began understanding its speech and could sort out the general theme it was speaking from its cursing. It then began showing me around this domain. Out from the cubicle walls was a large, dusty plain or road. Both ugly and beautiful beings roamed in loose packs on this plain. During the duration of my stay, many of these entities attempted to engage me in conversation. I was too terrified to respond, but only spoke out the words, Jesus Christ, non-stop. I was taken on a hellish tour of this place by the ghastly creature in front of me. We descended to the lower levels of the spiral road, as well as observed what was happening inside the cubes to each lost soul we passed. This hellish journey seemed to last forever. I wanted to wake up so bad, but could not. For more details, please see the author's book, A Land Unknown, Hell's Dominion, published by Zulin Press. Each trapped soul reaped in full measure whatever they had sown during their lives. Many entered this pit and into the cubes by means of spinning vortexes. I also noticed another entrance. All those people trapped resided totally alone and were not aware of each other. The only thing each was aware of were the creatures residing with them and the scenes enacted within their own personal square, nightmarish abode. I would say that each person trapped there felt a peculiar separation from God in the form of feeling banished forever from the loving nature of God and true life. Each knew fully that they deserved his or her fate because each chose to walk away from God and now resided in a place without God as they desired during his or her life lived on earth. God, in his great justice, fairness, and unfathomable love, gave them what they desired, a place without God, and where each was receiving the fruits of his or her own doing. When many of these individuals entered their private abodes, they were first deceived into thinking they had arrived in a paradise. As eternity passes, the real nature of this place was fully revealed to them. Others entered into instant anguish. It is truly a place of doom, despair, and unending nightmares. I could see the people in the cubes, and inside, everybody was seeing an illusion, time and space. Someone had died in the 1700s. They saw the 1700s as they died in the 16 or 1100. That's what they saw. That was their world. They died in the 20th century. That was their world. Their world in their cube was a reenactment of their lives on earth. They're reliving it with every person they lied to, every person they stole from. All the abuse they have done to God's integrity will be measured back to them. None of these people inside the cubes had any moment of sleep or rest. The real self is exposed in the cubes. Job 26:5-6 describes what happens to the dead. The dead are in deep anguish, those beneath the waters, and all that live in them. The realm of the dead is naked before God. Destruction abaddon lies uncovered. Verse 5. The dead are in deep anguish, those beneath the waters, and all that live in them. The deep anguish means they're suffering and pain under the waters. It describes the feeling of suffocation or drowning, not just in water, but under pressure of great depth. The deeper you dive underwater, the greater the pressure that makes you suffocate and unable to breathe. The waters can also mean molten fire and lava, as God says in Deut 32:22. For a fire is kindled in mine anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. So what was happening to those in hell was that the real them, their sin nature, was being uncovered, as it is written in Job 26:6, the realm of the dead is naked before God. Destruction, abaddon, lies uncovered. This is the part of hell that people don't understand. Sin is like a little yeast that leavens the whole lump. What was happening to people in those cubes was the real them was being exposed. You get drunk and stoned in life. The real you will be brought out in the cube. You re-drive into church, dressed in finery, praising God, and somebody cuts into your lane abruptly in the next minute. Give them an obscene sign with your finger as you drive past them. That is the real you. Now, the real you being exposed in hell ain't no picnic. The real you is the real corrupt you being uncovered, just like it's written right in the Bible. Hell is naked before God, and the place of destruction has no covering. Your real self being uncovered and exposed will cause you to writhe in torment and deep anguish. In the parable of the rich man and Lazarus, in Luke chapter 16:19-31, Jesus was explaining that the rich man's real nature was uncovered in hell. If you really read that with revelation knowledge, you understand what's being uncovered. You'll see his real sin nature is selfishness. I want to drink. I want. The real self being uncovered in hell will receive its just recompense. Watch what a man shows in his real self in life, and that is what he will also reap in the next life.
The Cruel Ship Captain. Let me tell you a few things I saw inside the cubes for more information. As I was walking along the corridors around the cubes, I had an instant knowledge and revelation of the occupants' life histories, why they were there, whatever they lived. I saw the captain of a British sailing ship who lived in the 1700s. He was very sadistic. He punished his crew unmercifully. He just loved to torture them, to play mind games with them, so in his cube in hell, he experienced everything his crew members suffered. His ship was sunk in a battle, and he drowned there, so he would experience the drowning over and over again. His real sin is how evil that guy was, and his earthly life was being made manifest in his cube in hell. No wonder you're going to be punished forever. Look how evil you are. That's what voices would kind of be speaking there in the cube. That's where I am trying to show people. No matter how outwardly holy you are, look at the real you. That would reveal how terrible you are. This guy was sadistic in his inward being through and through. Lady in delusion. Then I saw one lady who was a very nice lady. Everybody would think that she was really nice. She died in a car accident in 1980, and she went through the tornado vortex and dropped right at my feet. There, I was looking at the inside of the cube at her. She just got up and I could see the demon in there, but for her, she saw it as her grandmother welcoming her into paradise. Welcome, my child. I know you will love it here. All these demons were knocking on the door, entering this cube, and as they entered, she saw them as friends, people that she knew in her lifetime. There's Grandpa, there's the son, there's Uncle Joe, there's Uncle Sonny. Oh, this is paradise. And so they all in this house and in haste around this house, and then they walked into the kitchen and the scenery would change as they walk. It was like a treadmill inside. The floor would move and they would just be walking. And then she says, "Let